Today, I'm going to share with you the exact 8-step framework that we use to do it. Using this framework makes me literally only have to think about content for 90 minutes a week and then never again. And it has made my life so much easier. I used to have to just like think of a real idea for the day and then go like script it out, record it, edit it myself, think of a caption, and then post it. And it would take like 2 hours to make one reel. Now we're making 25 in 90 minutes. And today I'm going to share with you exactly how. So step one, I have a full-time videographer, right? I didn't always have that. Now I do. And what's awesome is we work together to build a process that I'm going to break down in the video to actually make it so much easier. So his name's Timmy, and Timmy goes on to ChatGPT, and he brings a list of 50 questions to ask me when we're sitting down to record, right? Some of them are going to be good. Some of them are not going to be good, and that's okay. Now, every single time we've gotten really good at refining the script and like refining the prompts and making them way better as well. And so, for example, like he would ask me a question that I don't think is like completely related to like adding value to who we're trying to speak to. And then he'd make a note of that, be like, okay, cool. And then he would next time use a prompt to refine it and make it way better. So he uses ChatGPT. He does competitor research, sees what other people are talking about right now as well. And then also hops on the coaching calls throughout the week in my community and looks through Slack and sees what the community is asking, right? So what are my clients asking? What are they struggling with? And then step number 2 is I bring my list of questions, insights, and stuff like that I want to talk about. So I read a lot of books. I coach a lot. I take a lot of courses and mentors, like hire mentors and take programs and stuff like that. Very soon I'm going to be flying to Utah and going to a mastermind. And so I'm always trying to fill my brain with really good inputs. And as a result, that lets me have really good outputs too. So throughout the week, I just use my notes app on my phone. And in my notes, I just make a list or just like write down ideas that I think of that I think would make good content. And so whether that's after a conversation with Timmy or with one of my other team members or with one of my clients or on a coaching call or in a book I'm reading, whatever it be, right? And I just make that list so that I come prepared with stuff too. So today, Timmy came with, I think, 50 or 60 questions. I came with like, I think 7 or 8 like topics from my side. And then step number 3 is having a very clear like direction. And so you have to know exactly like, what is the goal here, right? And so what we do, like today we sat down, we're like, all right, what's our goal? Since I'm going to be traveling for the next 5-6 weeks, like we're not going to have a ton of time to sit down and crank a bunch of stuff out. Now, like I don't leave for another couple weeks here, so I got a little bit of time. We're going to do another session next week, but our goal was 25 reels in the 90 minutes that we had. And so we set that down, or we wrote that down and we sat down to crank it out. And so what you want to do is you want to literally just have a list. And this is the next step too, right? Step number 4 is create a list, or at least just like get a piece of paper and a pen and just write out after you record one, just put a check or like a line, right? Until you hit your goal. So you want to make sure that you have clarity and actually like there's a mission that you're trying to accomplish. And so when we do, like today we cranked out 25 and I think we might have done 26 just for fun, just to be safe. But it's important that like we wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't set that goal. We probably would have stopped at like 10, like, oh, that's good enough, right? We used to do that until one time I was like, what's our goal for today? How many are we aiming for? We're like, we should do like 15. We're like, hell yeah. So then we did it and we're like, that was awesome. It just made it so much easier. So then when things get a little tough or uncomfortable or whatever, you start to get a little bit lower energy. You're like, no, we got to keep going. We got to push through this. We got to get it done. And so step number 5, we sit down. Timmy asked me a question. I kind of think about it for like a minute. And then I think about like, okay, what kind of like hook can I think of? And what's like the one main point that I'm trying to get across in this video? And so a lot of people like make content where it's like kind of all over the place, but you want to have one clearly refined point that you're going to share with the audience. And so it's important that you nail that down. So I kind of, in my mind, I think of like, okay, what's the main point? And then what's like a good hook that I can use to like get someone's attention? And then how can I explain it? And so step number 6 is kind of like the framework, which is point, story, teach. So think of like the one point, right? And then what's a story I can tell to share how I learned that point that I'm teaching. And then part 3 is teach, right? So point, story, teach. What's the point I want to get across? What's the story I can use to emotionally engage with and connect with my audience? And then how can I add value to them so they can actually learn something, take action on this today and move forward and get better and improve their life literally today. And so that's how you get people coming back. And then step 7, I already covered this. We hit our goal of 25, and then we usually so we record those, following that framework, hit our goal, and then we usually do one more for fun. And then after that, step 8 is that's it, right? Timmy edits it. He thinks the captions, and then he posts them all. He schedules them out. So now we got content batch for the next few weeks, which is awesome. And the best part about all of this, I literally only have to think about content for 90 minutes a week. We sit down once every Friday and we bang it out. But I want to tell you that it was not like this. I literally used to, like I said, sit down. I made it a standard for myself. I will die before I don't post a reel today. And then all I would do was just one reel a day. It was a grind. It would take me an hour or two to think of an idea, to script it out, to record it, to edit it on iMovie and the captions app, and then think of a caption and then upload it. And then I have to do it all again tomorrow. But then when I went traveling, it was very tough to stay consistent with it. So then I started batching a few at a time, and then a few more at a time. And now a couple of years later, we've got a really refined process that makes it so much easier. And it's actually kind of fun because we sit down with a mission and a goal. We're like, all right, dude, let's fucking bang this out. And we're like, hell yeah. We're like, okay, there's 1, there's 2, boom, there's 3, there's 4, 5, right? And then it's okay, what are we at? 18, okay, 7 more, let's go. And then we both have this mission, right? So obviously, if you don't have a videographer, you don't need one. That's totally fine. Use ChatGPT, come up with a list of 50 questions for your niche. A really good way to kind of brainstorm this would be what's every, if you had to categorize your niche and your offer, what are all the things you help your clients with? And so for example, with me, it's offer, marketing, so content, ads, sales, appointment setting, mindset, just business, leadership, systems, right? And those are just a few. And so within that, you can spit that in ChatGPT and say, hey, here's what I do, here's who I am, and here's who I help, right? These are their main problems, these are their main desires. These are all of the things that I help them with. Write out 5 questions, 5 questions or content ideas or whatever for each one of these things that I help them with. And it'll just spit out a bunch of answers. And you're like, cool, those are awesome. Now make them a little bit more and then give it some feedback, right? Maybe they're good and you're good to go. And a lot of the times, when Timmy asks me a question, it's I don't answer the question directly, but I use that question for direction. And then I think of a really good point that's kind of related to it, but at least it gives me something to work with rather than just kind of sitting there wondering what the hell I'm going to talk about. That makes it very, very difficult. And so the key to this is build a good process you can follow that makes content creation easy. My first hire ever was a video editor. After 2.5 months of me doing everything myself, I was like, this sucks. And so I hired a video editor for I think it was $300 a month for 30 reels a month. It's $10 a reel. And that saved me an hour or two. And I was like, awesome. And I get focused on making more sales. And it was incredible. So if you don't have one, just get an editor. And then I like to just give them access to my Instagram. So then they just post it. I don't like having to send it all to them. And then they send it back. And I post one or each one individually. And I have to figure out which one I need to post. And it's I don't want to do that. Right? Maybe you get a VA to do that or something like that. I don't know. But this makes it a million times easier. So you want to basically understand that you're not going to get better if you just don't do any more reps, right? You have to do the reps. You have to show up every day consistently and just keep at it. Otherwise you're not going to get better. You can build the best system that you want and get all fancy like this today, but you're not going to get anywhere and nothing's going to happen if you don't just sit down and do the damn work and just actually record it and be willing to fail, right? Most of the time, much to Timmy's demise, a lot of the videos, pretty much every single reel that we record, it's never a one take. It's I mess up, kind of what I just did there, the same line 5 times, and I finally get it right. And then we're okay, God. And then he edits it out and puts it all together and makes it all pretty, right? So don't try to be perfect. It's not going to be. Just bang it out. You'll get better. You'll refine it. And you'll improve over time. So that's a content system. If you want my help to scale your online coaching business, book a call down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.